Job openings climbed to an all-time high in Minnesota. The State Department of Employment and Economic Development released new figures this week, reporting more than 214,000 openings at the end of 2021. Nationwide, more young people are choosing to forego college and get a job after high school. CCX's Jason Malillo finds out if we're seeing that trend locally.
The first annual employment fair at Park Center High School was well attended.
Right now I'm trying to go to college. I need money to pay for it. So coming here looking for jobs and looking for experience.
But in 2022, a college degree might not be the only path to future prosperity.
I think that whole idea of the more you learn, the more you earn, sometimes, but it all comes back to and all really depends on what you study.
Nationwide and here in Minnesota, college enrollment is declining.
Some people would probably be better off not going to college or even come get a job and then do college part-time. College is really expensive these days, and some people don't get the bang for their buck.
Park Center senior Shanaria Dre Paul will go to college this fall, and she's trying to figure out a way to offset some of the cost.
A lot of me and my friends, we were talking about if we could find a company that could maybe help us pay for college for some of our tuition at least, we would definitely go to college for sure.
The landscape of higher education is changing.
We really wanted to go to St. Thomas, and we heard that that's like $60,000 to $70,000 a year, and then you have to pay that for 4 years, and we're like, no way.
Studies still suggest a bachelor's degree raises a person's earning potential. The trick might be for young people to diversify their post-high school learning plan.
You're just a much more marketable person if you have lots of experiences and lots of skills.
We encourage graduating seniors to come work in a manufacturing environment, gain experience, and then when you get to school, you'll be able to talk about business principles, you'll understand what's being taught.
In Brooklyn Park, Jason Malillo, CCX News.
The Brooklyn Center Transit Center reopened at its normal time Wednesday, this after closing down early Tuesday evening due to a report of a large crowd getting ready to fight. According to Metro Transit officials, 20 to 30 people began to assemble at the bus hub. At one point, as police showed up, a Metro Transit spokesperson says one person jumped on top of a Brooklyn Center police squad vehicle. The spokesperson says the incident started with a verbal altercation of some sort. The situation was brought under control with no property damage or any injuries. Metro Transit Police issued a trespass notice to 2 people described as instigators, barring them from using bus services or being on Metro Transit property for a certain period of time. There will be a special election to fill the seat vacated by Tyler Klein on the Robbinsdale City Council. The council met for the first time Tuesday night since Klein resigned from his Ward 1 seat on May 27th. Klein is accused of drunken driving and fleeing police in an incident back in January. The council approved a special election, and according to Secretary of State guidelines, it could be a 9-month process to replace the Ward 1 council member. The candidate filing period would begin in August. If there are 2 or fewer candidates, there would be a November election. If there are more than 2 candidates, it would mean a November primary and a special election in February. It's a race against time during a water emergency. This week, Maple Grove firefighters are getting some hands-on experience in water rescues. As reporter Sonia Goen shows us, every minute counts when you're trying to save someone.
We've got 5 major lakes and we have a number of ponds.
The sun is shining and the water is calm on Rice Lake. This idyllic scene is the backdrop of water rescue training.
This is stuff you can't practice in a classroom.
Command for Boat 1, we've launched.
Firefighters from stations 4 and 5 are preparing for the unexpected.
See you later.
The city typically has 1 to 3 water rescues each season.
We might have something at one of the recreational lakes, or we could have a water rescue in someone's backyard with the pond.
Crews bought out 2 watercraft, the rescue boat, and the inflatable Zodiac boat, which can be launched from anywhere.
It actually has wheels, so the heaviest part of that boat is the motor, but 2 or 4 people can deploy that.
Go ahead and splash your victim in the water.
Firefighters put simulated victims in the water.
Let's grab that platform up.
And practice being able to locate
The front of the boat.
and rescue them.
We've got a platform that they're able to lift that patient up and onto the boat, and or with the Zodiac, we can bring them right up over the side.
There are at least 3 to 4 different tasks that are happening at the same time.
Grab that pole.
We're repetitively doing the drills so everybody gets a chance to drive the boat, everybody gets a chance to throw the rope, everybody gets a chance to lift the patient into the boat.
The training is crucial to reducing errors and saving lives.
And the more training you have, the more repetitions you can do, the more mission ready you are when we're called upon.
Grab a hold of the boat and work your way up.
In Maple Grove,
The firefighters in the front will help you.
Sonia Goins, CCX News.
If you're driving west on 42nd Avenue through Crystal, a new mural might catch your eye. A trio of local artists painted the mural on the Elision Playhouse. The arts venue wanted to beautify its building with a combination of bright colors and elements of nature.
I think my hope is that it just makes people smile. Like, I want them to see that big owl face as they're driving by if they haven't seen it before, and just sort of be surprised that this exists on 42nd Avenue in Crystal. Any business that thinks about doing a mural on their building, I just really appreciate people who sort of have that creative thought and vision to know that, like, we can do something different. We can bring a little extra color. We can bring something that's fun to the neighborhood.
The mural was partially funded by the City of Crystal, which is planning to commission similar projects going forward.
The state boys tennis tournament continues through Friday in Minneapolis. Team competition is first, and Breck qualified for the Class A tournament. Jay Wilcox has highlights from the Mustangs quarterfinal round match.
Defending champion Breck set to face Litchfield in the Class A boys tennis quarterfinals. Number 1 singles Breck Zach Peel serves, then gets Alex Drager moving side to side before a touch volley winner. Peel pulls out a 3-set thriller for the Mustangs in a key match. The number 2 singles is a different story. Mason Woelfel serves for Litchfield and comes in for a volley to the corner that is returned long. The Dragons win at 2, 3, and 4 singles. To number 1 doubles, Breck's Enrico Petto serves and partner John Gorman puts away the overhead. They roll past Braden Olson and Tyler Pennertz. Second doubles, Litchfield with the serve. Nate Ernst returns it cross court and then fires a great forehand down the line. Ernst and Braden Barkmeyer win 6-2, 7-6 as Breck sweeps the doubles to win 4-3. They rallied to beat Rochester Lords 4-3 in the semifinals too. Jay Wilcox, CCX Sports.
Thanks, Jay. Champlin Park's girls lacrosse team reached the semifinal round of the section tournament as the Rebels looked for an upset Tuesday night against the top seed.
Champlin Park girls lacrosse facing top-seeded Andover in the Section 7 semifinals. The Huskies' Claire Lichtfeld, surrounded by Rebels, is still able to get a shot away and scores. Andover takes control of this game right from the start. Meryl Delich from the free position shoots and scores to give Andover an 8-1 first-half lead.
Husky goal.
Annabelle Johnson was a bright spot in the game for the Rebels. She curls out front, shoots and scores. One of 5 goals in the game for the sophomore. Megan Peter passes to Ella Engstrom and she scores for the Rebels, but they trail Andover 10-3 at halftime. Second half, from the free position, it's Lichtfeld scoring again. Andover doesn't let up and they end Champlin Park's season. 19-8 is the final. The Huskies host Centennial for the section title Thursday night.
Watch for highlights of the Section 5 boys and girls lacrosse finals and the Section 5 4A baseball championship Thursday on our website at ccxmedia.org. As we move back into a warmer weather pattern, fishing action on Minnesota lakes is heating up. Here's Terry Tuma with his weekly CCX fishing tip.
I have had a ton of questions this year, especially about using stinger hooks fishing for walleyes and sauger. And the general answer to that is I try to avoid stinger hooks. One, I don't like the unnecessary hardware, and then number 2 is that they pick up a lot of debris on the bottom. Therefore, what I usually do, I'll go to a short shank jig to start out with. If I don't have any success of hooking those fish, then what I will do is go to a long shank jig. And again, when I talk about a long shank jig, is what happens then, you're going to get maybe a little bit better of a hook set. If you're forced to, then you'll have to go to a stinger hook. But to offset that somewhat, what I'll do is take a rod and then sort of create slack in the line to let that walleye chew on that jig a little bit more, if you will, and many times that'll offer you a great solid hook set. But give it a try, but go to the short shank jig first, then the long shank jig, drop your rod tip, create slack in the line, and then if you're forced, go to a stinger hook.
Thanks, Terry. That's all for sports. More CCX News after this.
Find more prep sports games and highlights at ccxmedia.org and follow us on social media.